everyone, Kayla here, and welcome back to another Detangle and Talk. So for today's detangling part, I am using the Tangle Buster brush. What else is new? I get on something and I stay on it, and I am using the Mielle Mongongo Deep Conditioner because I have a lot of them, and that's all I'm gonna say on that. And today's talk part, I am going to be talking about the urge to push people to big chop. And I'm going to talk a little bit about transitioning and, a little bit of my own journey and that kind of stuff. So this topic was sparked by a video that I was watching. I subscribe to this channel that is more of a lifestyle channel. This person has mastered the art of vlogs but make it a topic, so that you feel like you're watching a topic type video. Sometimes they do hauls, sometimes they do follow me, sometimes they do they're trying something, and it's all done in a vlog type style. So if you don't watch vlogs, I think you would still be interested in watching this person's channel. So, but I'm not really going to mention the channel in this video because, first of all, it doesn't really make a difference. And, I don't want people going in and examining exactly what it is that I'm talking about. I'm just keeping it real with you. I am unproblematic over here, and I'm trying to maintain it that way. But anyhow, this particular person is doing a hair journey. So now some of their vlog content is centered around their hair. And they have chosen to transition to natural hair. I can kind of tell by the way that their videos are done and the things that they say that they don't really watch natural hair content, and they're kind of like just now getting into it and just now starting to watch things and all of that. And so they made a video recently showing their progress on their transition. This person has grown out a decent amount of hair. They're getting there, you know what I'm saying? They're getting there. They got some inches coming through. She expressed that she still is wanting to continue her transition to, I guess, the year mark or something like that, if she doesn't cut her hair before then. And so I scrolled down to the comments because who doesn't do that, right? And I noticed a lot of the comments were kind of like, just big chop already, get it over with, this, that, blah, blah, blah. A lot of people urging her to big chop. And, my thoughts when I saw those comments is that I am just not someone that is for urging people to big chop. You know what I'm saying? Like, if someone asks me, well, what should I do? I'm never going to tell a person to big chop. Now, not because I'm against big chopping. I totally get the instant liberation, the instant natural hair that you get from big chopping. I know there are a lot of struggles that come with transitioning that you don't have to deal with if you big chop. But my biggest thing with people telling people to big chop is I feel like big chopping is personal. I feel that it is something that you need to do when you are totally ready within yourself to big chop. You need to be ready to big chop, because if you are not personally ready to big chop, you are going to regret the decision. And we can sit up here and say it's just hair, but it's not just hair. People really do tie a lot of their identity and their look into their hair. People style their hair in a way that makes them feel comfortable and makes them feel like themselves. And it is a big visual change to suddenly cut your hair off. And I think that that is something that you should do when you are ready. No one else can decide when you are ready to big chop your hair. No one. It is entirely personal. And I can just tell from like the things that this person says and stuff like that, that they are not ready for 100% natural hair. They are not ready. They are not ready to end their transition. They're just not. I feel like she would not know what to do with her hair, and she would just be floating in the wind. And I don't think that she would like her hair, and I think she would slap a wig on it with a quickness. Period. I I've been watching this person a very long time, even before they made the switch to the current content that they make. I am one of their older subscribers, their, probably their previous audience. So I just know that she's not ready. And no one can make that decision for when you're ready but you. And that's that on that. You know what I'm saying? And then in regards to transitioning, I know that a lot of people are down on transitioning. They feel like transitioning is something that is so hard to do. Transitioning is something that, is a waste of time. Your hair is going to break off anyway. And you know what? If you're new to this channel, I'll give you some background on me. And this is probably why I'm biased. I'm going to admit bias here, totally. I transitioned for a year and a half. A year and a half. And it is documented in detail on my blog, which I don't blog anymore, but the blog is still there. The blog is still there for posterity. And with my long transition, I think I learned a lot about my hair. And I grew my hair out to a length that I was comfortable with. My hair was, when you stretched it out, it was shoulder length. And that was after a year and a half of hair growth. And even then, I knew nothing about my hair. But at least I was at a length where I felt like, well, if my hair doesn't look good, I can just throw it into a ponytail. I can just throw it into a puff, which I often did. There are some people who enjoy having that flexibility. And I think that even though I still had a lot to learn about my hair, I also kind of want to talk about the ways people do recommend a transition. People recommend to just hide your hair the whole transition. And there were some comments in this person's comment section that were also urging her to just like slap a wig on it, put some braids in and let it be, and all these things. And my approach to transitioning has always been transition with your hair out. Transition in a way that you're actually having to style your hair. You're having to moisturize and take care of your hair. When you do this set it and forget it method, you're not really learning any new techniques along the way to take care of your natural hair. You're not having to interact with your natural hair. I definitely had a lot to learn when I finally cut my hair off, but I think that it was probably less that I had to learn if I had just put my hair in some braids and left it alone. Like I wore Bantu knot outs, braid outs. Bantu was my favorite because it would pull the roots straight so that the textures blended. Braid out, same thing. It kind of blended a little bit, but my curl pattern was a little bit at the roots, but it blended nicely. I would do buns. Like right before I cut my hair, I was doing buns because it was getting more difficult to do the hairstyles and blend them properly because I had to learn new ways to do braid outs and things like that for my natural hair. The techniques and the products didn't work the same anymore, but I learned that, and I wouldn't have learned that if I just put my hair away, So I think that we need to give transitioning a little bit more credit. We need to show transitioning a little bit more love. If you transition, please drop in the comments like how long did you transition? What was your transitioning experience? What was the biggest lesson that you learned along your transition? Because I just think we need a little bit more love for transitioning, a little bit more encouragement for people who are transitioning. Because right now on YouTube and blogs and stuff, first of all, blogs are all about dead. Don't nobody read blogs no more. I had fun writing it because I enjoy writing. My strength is the language arts, But, and then on YouTube, people really aren't making transitioning content on YouTube. Any transitioning content that I've seen on YouTube is people complaining about their transitioning hair. Or people throwing braids in their transitioning hair and not actually like sitting there hardcore transitioning. There used to be videos like that where people would show the progress of their new growth and talk about how they're styling their hair and stuff like that with the transition. You don't really see transitioning content anymore on YouTube. So for someone like the person that I was watching, there's probably not really much of a resource that she can look at to transition. There's not much. You know what I mean? And y'all, this is kind of almost unrelated to transitioning, but I also see her going down the beaten path of like YouTube misinformation. Girl, she was like, oh, I've learned, these are the things that I've learned. I learned that porosity is so important and blah, blah. And I was thinking, no, it's not. You're going to stress yourself out worrying about what porosity your hair is. You are going to stress yourself out worried about some doggone porosity. I'm telling you. You really are. It is what it is. Let me tell you what porosity is. I feel like the natural hair community online took porosity. They heard a little snippet and ran off with it. It's like a game of telephone, you know, where the first person whispers. Y'all, listen, I'm a teacher. I've had a lot of experience with playing telephone in the classroom. And let me tell you, that message never comes out right on the other end. Never. Kids always mess it up. And it's kind of like that with porosity. Let me tell you, all porosity tells you is that if your hair is low porosity, sis, you're going to have to stand under that faucet a little bit longer to get that, what's that? That's not called a faucet, is it? Whatever it is. The shower head. You're going to have to stand up under that mug a little bit longer than other people to make sure your hair gets wet. And if you do a big, thick, creamy product on your hair, you're going to have to let that soak in a little bit. You're going to have to let it soak a bit. But it's going to get in there. You know what I mean? But people have taken porosity to mean that your hair is forever dry. And you have to jump through all these hoops and stuff just to get some moisture on your doggone hair. And that's just not the case. Porosity does not give you a sentence of dry hair. It just doesn't. I did get in the porosity game. There's old videos of mine that's porosity down. But you'll notice that in a lot of my newer videos, I don't mention porosity at all. Why? Because it doesn't affect how I take care of my hair. I take care of my hair basics. Shampoo, condition, and style. I don't worry about the porosity of my hair because it's not really affecting my hair much at all. It really doesn't. And so I see her going down that path. But if you're new to watching natural hair content, what else are you going to think? You know what I'm saying? And then another thing I see her getting to is the texture game. She wants to know what her natural hair texture is. Let me tell you, if I can find a picture of my new growth from when I was transitioning, I will put the picture in. Sorry, I'm looking to the side. There's a full length mirror over here, y'all. So when I be styling my hair, I be looking straight to the side perfectly like this in some of my videos. It's because there's a mirror over here, a big old mirror. But anyway, if I can find that picture, I'm gonna put it in there because you can see. Because y'all, if y'all watch my channel, you're familiar with what my wash and go looks like and what my actual true texture looks at. Like, would you have thought that I had the texture that I have based off of the photo? If I can find it. And I think most people, 9 times out of 10, people are going to be like, no, I wouldn't have seen your texture coming from that picture. So if you've been transitioning, I think she's like a couple of months, so she's short of a year. In a year, the average person is going to grow about 6 inches of hair. So she has less than 6 inches of natural hair, a lot of damaged natural relaxed hair attached to it. So parts are damaged, parts are not. You're not going to be able to see your actual texture. You're not. It's very difficult to see texture of transitioning hair. And this was a big message that was kind of told to people back when I was transitioning, back in like, what, 2010 or something like that. But now, like I said, there's not a lot of transitioning content out there for people to realize that your pattern that you see when you're transitioning, the roots, those don't really tell you almost nothing. Nothing about what your natural hair is going to be like. I did think that my hair is a little bit more hydrated because when I cut my hair off, there was always like no texture. No curl pattern, no nothing, and my hair was chronically dry. There is a texture and a curl pattern in my my hair when I just had the roots and I still had the relaxed hair attached. So I had to learn how to get my hair to show the curls and all that kind of stuff, but even then the curls are still not the same as the ones that I saw while I was transitioning. It's just not the same. So that's one thing. And then also knowing your curl pattern, that's another thing that just don't matter. It does not matter. Y'all will notice that I don't mention curl pattern on my channel. I don't put curl patterns in my titles. In fact, for me, sometimes a curl pattern in your title, if you're a YouTuber, and I know a lot of other YouTubers watch my channel. Hey girls, I love you guys so much. Thanks for coming through all the time. Y'all, you know who you are. Oh, girls and guy. Don't leave Narada and Aaron and them out. But yeah, I'm actually turned off when I see you put like a specific curl pattern in your title. I'm like, you know, and it's not them. It's like other random YouTubers that I don't know. I'm less likely to click on their video because they're like, definition on 4B natural hair or definition on 4C natural hair. I'm just like, I don't even want to click it because you got a curl type in this thing. But let me tell you, knowing your curl pattern does nothing for you. It does not tell you what products to get. Like it doesn't even tell you really how the hair acts or how your style could come out, because rare hair typing moment here on my channel, y'all. Most people, both online and offline, see my hair as a zigzag, like, you know, and according to these stupid hair chart things, that's 4B hair. So I probably have the purest form of 4B hair that there is because of the crinkles. Look, many ways on swim. Crinkle, crinkle, crinkle. And like somebody else could have the same hair type as me, and there's a lot of people in my comments that claim that they have the same curl pattern as me, but like I highly doubt that their hair is going to react the same way. There may be a product that I love that they put on their hair and they hate it, or maybe they have silky 4B hair. I don't have silky hair. Any shine you see up on this head is product creating the shine. So you know what I mean? Like, and then there are some people who I know when I'm sitting here combing my hair out like I'm doing right now, some people think that this is 4C hair because they don't see a curl pattern, which that is not how that chart was intentionally, like originally intended to be seen as. But 4C wasn't even on there, but you know, people took it and ran with it. Again, something else the natural hair community took and ran. But when I comb my hair out like this, some people don't know, or like there's like videos where I like have my hair wet in the shower and it's not styled or anything like that, and so people were like, oh, is that 4C hair? No, it's not. But people think it is because they don't know what 4C hair is anyway. So it doesn't really matter. Your curl pattern doesn't matter. It doesn't help you select products. It doesn't even help with styling, because if you're a silky 4B, you ain't the same as me. You and me are not the same. You know, or maybe you're a low density 4B. You don't have as much hair as me. That's gonna make a difference. It really is. The styling techniques that you use, the products you use, that's gonna make a difference. There could be all type of things that are surrounding that 4B that change the way that you deal with your hair. I don't know, I'm just really focusing on the roots today. I don't know why, because it's not like they tangled. I'm in there today. Anyway, you know what I'm saying? So I really do wish this person the best of luck on her transition. I was really excited when she announced that she was going to go natural. I think that she's going to be super cute. Like everything she does on her channel is a vibe. Like when I say I love this channel, I love this channel. I love the channel. But I really do, you know, I'm like, you know, she's just gonna have to learn these things, you know, and we all had to learn it. Like, I'm not above her. I'm not sitting up here above her like, oh, I'm so above curl pattern and porosity and blah, 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 blah. No, because, girl, I was right there with her a couple of years ago. I was there too, sis, and I know what it is, you know. So I just, you know, I really hope that she does see this through and she comes out on the other end natural and loving it, because I just think it's going to be a whole vibe, especially with her aesthetic and like how she dresses and stuff like that. But there are things that I see that are the what you call it, the seeds of natural hair online misinformation. You know, but I'm saying all this with love, you know what I mean? With love, because like I said, I love this channel, I love this person, and I'm excited to see her with 100% natural hair. But I'm not finna sit up here in the comments and be like, big chop now! Big chop now! No, I'm not. She needs to come to that decision, and she needs to arrive at that point along her journey herself. She needs to arrive there herself. You know what I mean? So listen, here's the deal, okay? This video is over, but I have other videos. I do other detangling talks because I know y'all like my detangling talk. I don't be talking about nothing of value, but y'all like them anyway, okay? And if you have topics for other ones, leave that in the comments below, okay? And subscribe. I post videos every week, sometimes twice a week. and I'll talk to you in the next one.